Welcome back to the Hood Needs Fantasy Football Podcast. This is episode 116. I'm solo dolo again, doing the waiver episode. If you're listening to this, you're either very bored or you're in semifinals and you're bored. So, listen in. Some of you guys may have lost your quarterbacks. Patrick Mahomes out for the season. You may have lost your wide receiver. Did anyone else get out for the season? Oh, well, whatever. Anyways, tune in, guys. There's some names that, worst case scenario, even if you're not going to use these guys, you may be able to block your opponent. So tune in, find out who is the hot ads for the week. Starting with QB at the top, JJ McCarthy, rostered in 35% of leagues. He's not the greatest option, but he has been picking it up. Obviously, Jay Jettis isn't really getting a lot of that picking up, but they play the Giants next week, who have been very bad. And they played Dallas this week, in which he had 2 passing touchdowns, 250 yards, a rushing touchdown, and 1 turnover. So he didn't do too bad, had a decent day. So now that they're eliminated, or not now that they're eliminated, but since they are eliminated from playoff contention, there's not as much stress like, oh, get to the playoffs. It's more about developing a connection between his receivers. So JJ McCarthy could be a solid pickup and play. He has a very soft schedule these last 2 weeks. He could be your savior if you lost Patrick Mahomes for the season. Next on the list, Bryce Young, 21% rostered, playing for the division. They're playing against Tampa Bay. It's close. Tampa Bay and the Panthers are neck and neck. So Bryce Young needs to step up, and the Bucs defense hasn't been the greatest. So this is for the division. It's make or break. I would not be looking to start Bryce Young in my fantasy finals or semifinals. He's 18% rostered. If you're desperate, I mean, Mahomes is out, McCarthy's scooped up. You have no one else. Good luck to you, man, if you're thinking about starting Bryce Young in the fantasy semifinals. Last but not least, Tua playing against Cincinnati, who are no longer making playoffs. They're completely eliminated, not playing for anything. Tua showing that he can still play football is going to try and do his thing against Cincinnati. Also a desperation play. They get Cincinnati and then Tampa Bay. So Tua might be a good replacement if you lost your quarterback or if you just don't have a good one. Jaden Daniels out for the season as well, or they're just shutting him down. So, yeah, these are your options right now. These are the guys that are available, or at least pretty widely available. Another name here, Aaron Rodgers, 27% rostered, playing against Detroit. I would be that excited to start him. Not exactly my favorite pickup, but he's just available. I don't know about Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins played against Tampa Bay, and Kyle Pitts had that crazy game, so I wouldn't be excited about Kirk Cousins against Arizona. But if you're extremely desperate, I would not. I just wouldn't do that. So, anyways, let's move on to wide receivers. At the top, Jalen Coker of the Carolina Panthers, who came back from injury midway through the season and has slowly been picking it up. I mentioned him last week's episode of the waivers, coming off that bye. They get Tampa next week. We talked about that. So he's going to need to step up. He had a touchdown last week. He had a touchdown before the bye. I also would not be trying to trust him in my lineup in the end of the season, like for semifinals. But if you just need a flex and you're out of a flex when your players got injured, something happened, you could look to Jalen Coker. He may be the answer you need for a flex play if the rest of your bench is kind of shaky. Next on the list, Adonai Mitchell, who picked it up again with Brady Cook as his quarterback. I didn't see that coming. He had his breakout game week 13 last week against Miami. He didn't do anything. This week against Jacksonville in a shutout game, he had 9 targets, 6 receptions, 58 yards, and a touchdown. So they're playing the Saints next week. Saints aren't the best defense. and they're also playing for nothing. So at this point, I don't know if I'd be trusting Adonai Mitchell either. I'll be honest with you guys, but he could be, someone you flex. You never know. Stash him so you don't have to play against him. Your opponent picks him up. If your opponent picks him up, plays him, he does really well against you, you're going to be kicking yourself. Jaden Reed still only 41% rostered. I talked about him. I said go out and get him. He's been picking it up. They play Chicago and then Baltimore the next 2 weeks. They have a Saturday night game. Saturday night game next week, which is, I forget that there's football on Saturday near the end of the season. But yeah, he had 6 targets last week. Christian Watson got injured in his game. So if Watson misses time, Jaden Reed will be the primary benefactor for sure. Targets can go to some of those other guys, Dontavian Wicks, Matthew Golden, but I think that Jaden Reed probably will benefit the most. So if he's somehow out there, look for him. Let's move on to running backs. A couple names here. We'll kind of blast through these. DeMercado. Bam Knight got injured, ankle injury. He got tackled weird and left the game. So Michael Carter got a lot of the carries that game, but I believe that DeMercado is the next man up. I don't think they'll put Michael Carter above him. In the game against Dallas was it week 9 or something, when DeMercado was back, he got a lot of the carries. I do believe he will start in the game. So look for DeMercado on the waivers. He's only 11% rostered. So DeMercado seems to have, it's believed to have a bad sprain. So he's likely going to miss next week. You do want a running back on a team. Any starting running back is worth having. They're playing Atlanta next week and then Cincinnati. So those would be good matchups for DeMercado if you decide to play him, if you pick him up. It was week 9 against Dallas. He had 14 carries. And then when Bam Knight, the next few games, whatever. But yeah, DeMercado, he has some juice. Pick him up. Next on the list, Devin Neal went out. So Audric Estime is the next man up over in New Orleans. Look for him. They play against the Jets next week. The Jets are terrible against the run. So pick him up. He could be worth a start. I think he's 1% or 0% rostered. No one has him. So if Devin Neal doesn't play next week, he could be a plug and play flex for you. That's it for running backs. Let's move on to tight ends. At the top, Colby Parkinson of the Los Angeles Rams. He has been stepping up for that team. Caught 2 touchdowns this last week. Also had a touchdown the week before. And then they get Seattle in a divisional match on Thursday night. So he should step up. Last time he played against Seattle, he had 2 targets, 2 receptions, 14 yards, and a touchdown. This is a big game for them, and they need him to step up, and him and Stafford seem to be developing a connection. So pick him up, man. Tight ends have been, far and few this year. So he's definitely worth an ad. One more name, Dalton Schultz. I didn't put his name on this list, but he's here. So Dalton Schultz, who did pretty solid against Arizona. They get the Vegas Raiders, who have not been very generous to the tight end position. So Stroud's been stepping up. I'll give it to him. I didn't expect it from him, but he's doing his thing. So CJ Stroud is playing decent enough that, man, I would not feel comfortable starting Dalton Schultz. I'd rather start Colby Parkinson, to be honest with you, this week against Seattle. Reach out to us in the Discord and you can ask between me, MFB, BBTB. We can give you our opinions. Who'd you rather start? There's another name here that people might be thinking about. It's Dawson Knox, who's been stepping up big for the Bills. He had 93 yards on 6 catches in week 14 against Cincinnati. And this last week, he had, I 3 catches, 37 yards, but 2 end zone targets. So he had 2 touchdowns. I don't know if I would trust Dawson Knox. I feel like anyone in Buffalo could do good one week, could do good again the next week, but it's like every week that they do good, it's like less and less likely to do it again the following week. So if you want to take a dart throw on him against Cleveland, go for it. But I would be looking away from him. That's it for tight ends. Let's move into kickers. Eddie Pinheiro of the San Francisco 49ers, who did his thing this last week. Stick with him. Why stay away from him if he's doing his thing? He's playing solid. And the Niners are playing to win out. They're playing the Colts next week. And Pinheiro has been pretty automatic this year. So slot him into your lineup. He should be able to do his thing. Keep him in your lineup for these last 2 games. Last but not least, Andy Borregales of the New England Patriots, who as a team have been moving the ball a lot. So you should definitely add him because they play Baltimore week 16, then the Jets week 17, the 2 best matchups for kickers. Only 14% rostered. And since the Patriots are moving the ball a lot, they will get a lot of chances to kick. And so he'll get a lot of chances to score, get you fantasy points. So make sure you have him. Couple defenses, guys. Saints against the Jets, only 17% rostered. Yeah. I mean, if they're available, sure. Giants versus Minnesota. Giants defense are not that good. They're only 5% rostered for a very good reason. So if you want to take a shot on them, that's on you. These are probably 2 of the better matchups that are out there now. The other defenses are all pretty heavily rostered. So dice roll or reach out to us in the Discord. Be like, hey, this defense is on the waivers. Should I pick them up over one of these 2? And we'll let you know. There may be a better matchup and there may be a better case for a different defense out there that we could say, oh, you know what? Yeah, we like that more. Because I honestly don't care for either of these. They're supposed to be better matchups, but I would be kind of scared to start either of these guys in my fantasy semifinals. So that'll do it for this episode, guys. Best of luck to you that made it to semifinals. I am out of semifinals in both my leagues. So very unfortunate, but the podcast is still here. We'll still answer any questions and we'll give you the best information that we can. So we'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.